But let's go to Laura, who's on the line in Londonderry, New Hampshire. Laura, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
I can. What's going on?
Oh, this is so exciting. So I'm an attorney, licensed in Mass and Florida. I court reported my way through law school, and I built a small family law business supplementing through court reporting. Mm-hmm. I'm moving to Florida, and I have a few options, and I honestly don't know what to do. I have family in both states, so flexibility is pretty important to me. Mm-hmm. There's pros and cons to being a solo practitioner or working in a firm, and I struggle with those.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know those two options pretty clear. Tell me what option one is.
Okay, so I can either just be a solo practitioner in Florida, and I can open virtual office right out of the gate, supplement through court reporting, mm-hmm. With a strong marketing plan in place and mm-hmm. using the entree leadership advice.
Hey, I like that. That's good advice. All right, option two.
I could work for a family law firm for a year or so, become acquainted with Florida courts and forms. It may also give me more credibility because I'd be new in town. The proximity principle comes to mind. Mm-hmm. I loved your book.
Thank you.
Most of the family law clients that I would get while in a firm, I would probably get a commissions on that, bringing it into the firm. Mm-hmm. The third option, I have a background long ago in litigation. I could work for something totally different, which is my least favorite option, or I could build family law like on the weekends and nights where there wouldn't be a conflict with the firm. Or I could just forget about building a solo and just work for a firm and run with that. My end goal 10 years down the road, I'd like to be a court magistrate or a judge. I really like helping people.
Okay, this is great information. All right, let's really focus here. I want us to start before we go into option 1, 2, and 3. And by the way, I'm leaning towards striking option 3. It was so pathetic sounding that it's like, why in the world would option 3 even be on the table? Laura. All right. Now, let's talk about that 10-year goal. See, that's the driver with option 1 and 2. Because 10 years from now, you want to be a magistrate. So the first question I have is there a leader between option 1 and 2 in the clubhouse right now as it stands that you feel or you know with facts that puts you on that path, puts you further down the path to becoming a magistrate? Any one of those two is the clear leader?
No, because I have to actually sit down with one and get a little more information on that.
All right, great. So we don't need to spend any more time on that because we don't know right now which of those two gets us there. So I'm curious. You're a very accomplished lady. You called me with 3 options. Option 3 is awful. I'm taking it off the table. Okay?
Me too.
Okay, great. When you called me, you had a sense which one you would do without my advice or anybody else's advice. Which one was it?
I want to do 1 because that's what I've always done. But I think 2 makes the most sense.
Okay, so hold on a second.
At least for a year.
So answer the question again. You just gave me political speak. You've been watching too much politics on TV, Laura. Which one is the one that you think is the right option, 1 or 2?
I think 2.
Yeah. Now say why with some conviction.
Well, credibility, the proximity principle, just some mentoring.
Yeah.
It's a whole different state. The courts are different. Everything's different there than Massachusetts.
Yep, and I agree with you. And I actually think that option number 2 takes a lot of pressure off as well. I'm going to throw that one in there. And I think it fast forwards your relationships so that you sit down with an actual magistrate within the first 6 months of you being in Florida and going, hey, I want to be where you are one day. How would one go about doing that? And I just think that number 2 is the clear decision for you in your own head and heart. And I trust your head and heart. I really do. And I think that's the way to go. I really do. I think that is the way to go.
I think I'm so relieved. Thank you. And can I just ask one other quick little tale to this?
Yeah.
The reason I struggled so much with this is I have older siblings in New Hampshire, and because I've always sort of been a solo, when I work for people, I feel stuck. I have a hard time sometimes because, what if a family member's in the hospital and I have to get there, and that's been the hold up for me.
Yeah.
Put myself in. Yeah.
What do other people do when they live in one state and they have a family member get in a serious medical situation? What do they do? I'm just curious.
Well, they ask for time off and they buy a plane ticket.
Yeah.
If they can get it, and if they can't, they just say so.
Okay. Am I missing something, Laura? Are you different than the rest of us?
Maybe I feel too responsible.
That's it. This is all in your head. I get it. I get you love your family. Now, I'm being silly. I was being completely silly, but to make a point. You do what everybody else does. It's your future. You can't stay in New Hampshire and not pursue the future that you know in your head and heart you're supposed to pursue. To do the work you were created to do, to fulfill your purpose. You can't stay in New Hampshire just because you've got elderly family members who might get sick and die. It's your life. You got to go live your life. You cannot withhold from your future because you feel bad about leaving others behind. Here's what's going to happen. If you were to stay in New Hampshire and not pursue what it is you were created to do, the very people that you want to love and not hurt their feelings and you feel bad about leaving are the very people you're going to resent because they become the lid to your future. Laura, do you want to deal with resentment the rest of your life?
No.
I didn't think so. So, Laura, what time is it?
It's time to move on.
It's time to go. It's time to go. You know it. I know it. Everybody listening knows it. Laura, don't have any guilt at all. Have a spirit of abundance because you know your future. You know why it's your future. You know how it's your future. Laura, stop thinking and let's start moving.